we'll just start there.
George Wheeler.
Yeah.
He fucking fell in love with you. You had a joke about it was some Palestinian joke.
That's the most retarded. I got gaslit into thinking that was a good joke.
Were you in Auschwitz?
It's actually the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz today.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Man United posted this thing on their Facebook being like,
Should we have a moment of silence?
Yeah, we probably should, yeah. But Man United posted this thing on their Facebook being like, we remember the Auschwitz or the Holocaust, and some lad in the comment section was like, yeah, United are shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Hitler united a lot of men.
Well, yeah, he did unite a lot of men. I mean, that's what we're all here today, sitting here. But hang on, what was the Palestine joke?
It was
Goldstein or something Steen.
I don't remember.
I don't
that.
like
the Hamas bit
Full
is.
steam ahead.
I hate this joke because I got lied to. I got tricked into thinking it was a good joke.
Okay.
Reed one tricked me into thinking.
Yeah, he'll do that.
He
Yeah.
tricks me into and it's
Yeah, I just don't believe anything he says.
No.
He says he's straight.
Yeah.
That's
He
the whole
told me
thing.
that the joke is they call it Hamas, and it's funny that it's a Muslim organisation named after two things Muslims guys hate: ham and sodomy.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Wait, they don't like sodomy when it's two lads, but I'm sure they like to when it comes to women.
When it's a ham.
Yeah.
When it's a ham. Yeah.
No, I mean
That's true. Yeah, they might.
I
Like
watched the. Have you seen that documentary about the Afghan sex boys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch it every night before I go to bed. The back of Bazzi's.
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gay shit going on in Islam.
Well, if there's sex
a lot of-
boys there, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
But
like,
that- yeah.
what's it going to be? A boy or a girl? Oh, it's a sex boy.
Yeah, it's sex boy.
It's
Well, I think they dressed them up to look like girls or something.
Not that much. They put them on
Yeah.
earrings, and that's it.
To make it a little less gay.
you don't want
Yeah.
too much. It's just a bit of like seasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a little-
because because there's a thing on YouTube. It's like a Vice documentary called "This Is What Winning Looks Like."
Yeah.
and it's them.
It's probably the
trying
worst vice you can have.
to- Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But so it's about like the American army going into Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And then like they're planning on with pulling out, so they're teaching, which is always a bad idea, but they're trying to teach the local police and army how to like fight, so that when they leave they can fight the Taliban by themselves.
Yeah.
And they couldn't give a fuck. Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just there fucking like on opium and like fucking
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, whatever, and the US army are like, what? So that's going on with them, and then the Taliban are like fucking young boys.
Well, no, the Taliban don't fuck young boys.
Who are the people fucking young boys?
It's the like local
oh,
warlords.
it's the police and stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's a culturally
Yeah.
Afghans fuck boys,
Mm.
and then the Taliban came and went no. So
Yeah.
that's why they hate the Taliban.
Right.
The Taliban and the local warlords are fighting so they can continue to fuck
Right,
the young boys.
okay.
There's
Yeah.
no other reason.
That's the only
Yeah,
reason.
there's
That's
no
one
other
of the
reason.
big reasons. Though.
It's yeah, that's why they have that oil for.
Exactly. Yeah. It's actually baby oil that they have. Well, hang on. You were saying something there about about someone loving George, because all the black comedians pretty much are like they love you.
Really?
Yeah, because you're doing that. You were saying the N-word on stage for like the first
Yeah.
few months.
What was it,
Yeah.
multiple times?
I did 2 N-word bits. I
Oh,
had
right.
2 N-word bits. Yeah. I can't do it.
Oh, 2 bits,
No.
but you did them multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I
yeah.
thought you said the N word once on stage.
No, I said it twice on stage.
Okay.
Both at the Cavendish Arms. I had one N-word bit where it was just it's either the Louis C.K. cunt bit where he says I love the word cunt.
Yeah.
I thought I'm gonna do that, but instead of cunt, I'm gonna say the
Yeah.
N-word. So
Yeah.
I was like, I love the word,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
because the way it sounds, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Everyone got really mad at me.
Yeah.
And then I just remember just seeing, I heard one guy in the back of the audience laughing, and it was Luke Craig.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like Luke Craig came up to me and was like, "Don't worry." Like he was like, "Don't worry." And I was like, "Look, I've got a black friend. It's fine."
Yeah, you take him around.
Yeah.
Lead.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
My mind did go there. I just didn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
Well-
Luke Craig stopped me from not getting beaten up because he was a bunch of fucking liberal retards, but like you know,
Right.
getting scorned.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the bit.
That was
You
the
just
bit
like
that.
I like the way it sounds.
Yeah. and then I
Have you
thought
tried it how many times?
I only did it once, and then
Oh.
I had another N-word bit where
It might have legs, man. You gotta bring
Maybe.
it back.
Yeah.
It does. It is a very satisfying word to say.
Yeah.
Don't fucking give me all
No,
this shit.
no.
You've never said it.
I've said it all. I say it all the time.
That's how you end the phone call with me.
I've
Yeah.
never heard you.
Oh,
I've never.
here we go.
Yeah.
We're hanging up on George again.
No. I say it all the time.
No.
Yeah. I say it to everyone. My mother, everybody.
I say it on stage.
Yeah.
I say it
under
before I
your
get to the mic.
Your mantra.
Just whisper into people's ears as you're walking up.
As soon as I step on stage, I say it, and then I get to the mic.
Yeah. There's I've never actually seen someone say it on stage. There's a couple of people. There's a guy in Berlin who's actually no, I won't fucking. His name's and there's a comedian as well in London. Their second name's Kuhn. You know James. There's a guy in Berlin.
There's a town called Coon in Australia that has a cheese called Coon cheese. It's one of the big cheeses. And there was a whole debacle about whether they should change the name. And people were like, it was always been Coon cheese. Always was, always will be. Like people were so mad about it.
That's
But was
great.
it tied to? Is it tied to black people? That's a poor choice of words there, but
No, it's just I don't
It's
know
a funny
what.
sounding word.
I think it might be an Aboriginal word.
Would you
Okay.
just go
I
into
could be
like the
wrong. I
supermarket
could
and
be
go,
wrong.
I'll
Huh?
have 30 grams worth of coon, please? Like,
Yeah.
No, it's like
Oh, at the
pre-packaged,
Coon?
Pre-packaged.
but
yeah, you go in. Do you have Kuhn? It's like we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We do not sell that anymore.
He's out the back smoking. He'll be-
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What was the other bit? You said it twice on stage. What was the other bit?
The other bit was he just shouted.
I had-
Screaming.
Yeah, he just screamed at. I just imagine George's joke book is just the N word written, just
Yeah.
over and
It's
over.
different
again.
font.
yeah, just angrier and angrier font, like harder edges, harder.
Underlined, bold.
Yeah.
He's writing it like this, with his pen gripped in his hand.
No. The second time I did it, I was telling a story. I had a South African boss, and I wasn't very good at my job, so he'd get really mad at me. And every time I was doing a bad job, he would call me the N word.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
you fucking stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. And
Right.
then so I started telling that story on stage.
Was he white?
He's a white South African guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
they
was,
love throwing that around.
yeah, he used to tell some fucking.
That's spicy, as a white South African saying it. That's like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
that's up there, like, you know.
He was
maybe-
racist. He hated black people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
work.
you.
He used to tell He used to tell stories about how like crazy black people were. Right?
Yeah.
Like he used to live in a township in South Africa, and he said like, oh yeah, he was like they're a different species. Like that's how he used to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, and I always would be like, no, come on, man. Like that's.
Yeah.
You never once said
No,
that.
I'll parlay with the best of them, but
Yeah.
I did used to say that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Because he was like, no, they're fucking animals. And then
Yeah.
an Indian guy came in who was from South Africa, and I saw him come in, and he was kind of like a friend of the boss. So I was like, come on, you know this is like he's saying that black people from South Africa they're like animals, and then the Indian guy was like, yeah, no, they are kind of fucking crazy.
Really, yeah.
There's a whole thing like they hate.
Oh, in India they've got the caste system, haven't they? And
Yeah.
that's like, so there's
Is it
massive amounts of racism in that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there is. Yeah, 100%. I mean, everyone's racist towards everyone, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, I did landscaping for like 2 days when I moved here, and I worked for a South African guy who was so fucking racist,
Yeah.
and he was just like, yeah, if you can't speak English, you have to leave England. He was like Muslims. He's like Islam. I don't like the Islamification of thing, and he was like black people are animals. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
And it's crazy that he revealed all that information within the first 2 days of
Well, I
working.
took that as
with
an
him.
insult. That I was like, "What about me?" Things like makes him think that I can just say all this shit. And then the next day, I didn't feel bad at all when I didn't like. I just didn't. I was like, didn't turn up for work the next morning. I was like, I hate this job. I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. to go fucking work for this cunt. So I was like, you know what? And I just blocked him on like WhatsApp and everything. And then he obviously had my email from when I applied online, and he just sent me this big email being like, "You're a fucking lazy coward.
Yeah.
You're you didn't even have the balls to call in sick."
Yeah, well, he's
It's
got
like,
a
"You're
point.
Fucking, 100% he's got a point.
Good point. And now he hates Irish people.
So-
You've added another race.
I've added another type of person that he
The N
fucking
word of
hates.
Europe.
Did you guys ever get pulled into HR for not being racist enough? Like you served that man very promptly.
Yeah.
We don't do that here.
We need to be more suspicious. They did tell me that when I work for like a petrol station, and they were like there was this scam people used to do where in Ireland it's like a one for all gift cards where it's like you just for a birthday or something where you put money on a card and you give it to someone, and these lads used to come in and they with stolen credit cards, and then they top up the one for all cards, and then use them to buy shit because they're not traceable or whatever. And we were warned about it, and then they were like, and also, this is what they said. They were like, and also, it tends to be, a certain, race, and they wear a suit just to seem less dodgy or whatever. They're basically saying it's black guys in suits.
Black guys in suits, yeah.
Yeah, they turn up and they try to be all fucking like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Good morning, good
all
sir.
proper and stuff. They're like, I am not doing a scam at all. And
Just two kids on top of
yeah,
each
two
other
black
with
kids
a
on
big
top,
fucking
sitting on
trench
each
coat.
other's shoulders, yeah. But yes, and that South African guy was just like, yeah, you're a lazy sack of shit, and you're not going to amount to anything or whatever. And
Look at you now.
And look at me now. But I mean, what do you do, Paul, at the moment? Like, are you?
I'm a
what are you
teaching
doing?
assistant at a primary school.
I just thought like you worked in. You look like someone like you'd work on like in a zoo or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you like?
It's similar to
Joe
that, I'll be
Exotic.
honest.
Yeah.
There's
Joe
a lot of like
Exotic's,
SEN
zoo.
kids
Yeah.
where I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. Let's
So-
let's
A lot of
just chill
comics
out.
do that. I almost ended up doing that. They still send me emails asking if I want to work at schools. But
Yeah,
it seems
so-
like they need so many of them here.
Oh, no one's going
It's
to
like so
teaching.
easy to get that job.
So,
Yeah.
like I'm so underqualified,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, I'm patient, and it gets to a point because you don't have any training. You're just like, this
Yeah.
kid's fucking spazzing out. What can I do? Just be cool, man. Can we stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, please. You're just pleading with a child, dude,
Yeah.
like, and then you just realize, oh yeah, we just gotta let's go kick a ball.
Right.
We're not gonna do maths.
Yeah.
Let's go kick a ball and run around in a circle for half hour.
Are they special
Cool.
needs kids?
Some of them, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, when I moved here, that those are the best
Nice.
ones. But yeah, when I moved here, one of the people were like, "Oh, just get like a TA job or whatever."
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do that. I don't have any qualifications. They were like, "No, you don't need any qualifications.
You don't.
Yeah.
You just turn up."
Well, you see, the only qualification you need is to not be a pedophile.
Yeah, and even at that, I'd say a few of them let it
Yeah,
slide. They're
they're
like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
one or
come on
two.
in. We're desperate." Like fucking Rob Enchu was doing
I know. Yeah.
teaching, like, and the kids. You know
Yeah.
this guy,
Who the fuck's Rob Entry? Entry
Enchu.
and shoot.
He's
Romanian.
He's a
Sounds like a
Romanian
nut.
kind of retarded child that
Yeah.
is on the scene, and he works for all the lads now work for like a Harry Potter tour company. The tour guides. Rob's doing it.
Like on the double decker
remote-
buses.
No, they just meet in these. It's a scam basically. They meet tourists in London, and then they just walk around London with them for like 2 hours, and they're like, "Yeah, so this is the." And like none of them know. Like, I was talking to Rob about it yesterday, and I was like, "Do you know anything about Harry Potter?" And he's like, "No, I haven't even seen the movies."
Yeah.
And they just tell them it's a scam. Like they just tell them, the tour guides, yeah, just walk around and just be like, yeah, this building was, this lane here was inspiration for Diagon Alley or whatever, and total fucking scam. But
Yeah.
then he said sometimes you have these nerdy kids who like can like pick up on the fact that you know nothing, and they're like, so what happened in the Sorcerer's Dick or whatever the name of the fucking movie is, and he's just like, yeah, shut up, you fucking. And then he takes some of them to. When he's walking, he was telling me this when he's walking through Chinatown, when he's going, because that's in Harry Potter, I think.
Yeah.
Is that in
Is it?
Chinatown?
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Is it?
He says he brings them to Chinatown. I don't know.
No wonder the kids are going, you don't know shit, mate. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Just taking me to a Bucky's.
Yeah. That'd be so funny if you tried to gaslight them into. No, Chinatown was in Harry Potter. You just missed it. And
Deleted scene.
Yeah. Because their eyes go diagonally. I don't know where that was going. That's getting.
That was such a stretch
That
for
was
that joke.
such a stretch. I don't know. I was trying to do something with it, and anyway, that's getting cut out. But yeah. But what was I going to say? When he brings them through Soho, he goes, "You guys," he says to the adults, he's like, "Do you want to hear like a fucking crazy story?" And some of the adults are like, "Yeah, go on." And he tells them the story about me and the lads getting hand jobs in Soho. Because me, Anno, and
What a fucking
he's a
retard.
retard.
Yeah.
He's a retard.
Because he generally thinks that they're gonna like a bunch of 40-year-old like American Midwestern people are gonna be like, oh, you got a hand job here? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Some of them will.
Really?
yeah. Some of them love it.
Some of them love it. Some of them fucking absolutely love it, and he gets tips for like whatever.
Yeah.
And
Get yourself another hand job, son.
yeah, get yourself another hand job there. Just one of the dads is like, so where exactly is this place? Yeah, imagine he brings them through Chinatown. He's like, yeah, everyone just wait here 10 minutes. I just need to go in here and chat to whatever.
Dumbledore.
Yeah, Dumbledore. Yeah, were you into? I was more of a Lord of the Rings man now.
Mm,
I was into Harry Potter.
I know I
hard
was
as a
never into
kid.
Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I was very much into it.
Into Harry Potter, yeah. I don't know, man. It's
Like the books. I thought the movies kind of sucked for the most part.
Lord of the Rings is the cool one.
Oh, it's
Lord of
way
Rings.
better. The Lord of the Rings films are better.
I want to.
Especially when the films came out, everyone's doing the Gollum impression. And you're like,
Yeah.
"Ah,
People
so-"
still do it.
That was the original Borat, I feel like.
Yeah,
before
true.
we had Borat, we had Gollum.
Yeah.
And that's
That-
how you'd ruin a party.
I rewatched those movies recently. They're fucking amazing.
which movies?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, they're the fucking best.
Like there's so much. Yeah.
yeah, so
better.
much diversity
Yeah.
in the cast.
Yeah.
But what was I going to
You
say?
got the
there?
orcs. You
Yeah.
know?
Men, women.
Yeah, who are the orcs supposed to
I
represent?
don't know.
If I hear another Jewish comedian say something about the goblins and Gringotts being Jews,
Yeah.
that's just been done to fucking death. Like,
I remembered your joke.
What is
The
it?
joke is you were talking about Palestine, and
Oh,
you
speaking
were
of
saying
Jews, yeah.
people ain't. I don't think they like any Steens.
That's not my joke.
isn't that no?
No,
It
no.
does sound like something
It
you
was
would
something
say.
you. I'm sure you said something along those lines.
No.
There was a guy on Kill Tony who goes,
Yeah. Not pals with anything.
Yeah, he's like, Palestine. They're not pals with any Steins.
Yeah, you said that shit.
No, I didn't.
100% you said it.
No.
100% you said. 100%.
George getting called out here.
I
No.
was cracking up,
No, that wasn't my joke.
and then a lady like fucking started heckling you.
No,
at
that was the
blackouts.
Hamas joke because they got upset with the Hamas joke.
You,
Yeah.
you definitely said the
I was there.
Palestine. You said the Pal bit as well. Because I remember Kill Tony happened. And I was like, that was a George Wheeler bit.
No,
Right.
I did not. No, I want to put on
You
record.
did it
I did no, I
first.
did not steal a Kill Tony joke.
No, I
no,
won't say
that's
you
not
did,
what
no.
I'm not
It's-
accusing
yeah.
you
it's
at all.
kind
I'm
of a-
saying
it's
you
not-
said it first.
No,
Yeah.
I did not do this. I did not do the Stain joke.
It's kind of
No.
an obvious joke when you kind of break it down.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
it's
it's
not
not-
yeah.
It is possible that, like, yeah.
I've got the footage. We'll embed the footage
We'll
of me
embed
not
the
do-
footage
of
over
not
the-
me doing the joke.
Yes.
And then we'll embed the footage of me saying the N word on stage as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
have that?
sorry.
I think I do actually.
I'm
Are you
not
fucking
accusing you of
serious?
doing
We
might-
have to get that.
Yeah.
But I
No, I didn't. I know that weren't me. I did the Hamas joke, and then the woman got upset about me saying the Hamas joke. But it's because I think she was more upset how it was it's a shit joke.
Right.
I took it more like you're taking away my freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I think I said that. I don't
You're,
know.
Yeah.
you're so close to going on GB News.
I'm
so
gonna
close.
become a right wing guy.
We were talking about
It's gonna
this.
be me,
That's-
Adam Kumas, and we're gonna be talking about the fucking grooming gangs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like-
Seeing a fucking
Yeah,
grooming guy.
yeah.
Ass. I wouldn't coom in his ass.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's GB News. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
full. That's just like the last
they need.
refuge of people who are struggling in stand up.
Yeah, I'm struggling to stand up. I might become a right wing guy. I'm starting my
Yeah.
own podcast,
Yeah.
a solo podcast, and we're talking about the news.
You're gonna be like that guy Gypsy Crusader. That's gonna be your fucking podcast.
Yes.
You know that guy?
Yeah,
Did you ever
yeah.
hear this guy
Who's
Gypsy Crusader? He's this guy who like I think he ended up going to prison.
He used to go on Omegle a lot. His bit was he would be dressed up as a Nazi on Omegle, and then every time a black person would go on the screen, he'd be like, "Hey, N word," and
Yeah.
then if a Jewish guy, he would do this Nazi salute. And then there's a few clips where another Nazi would be on the screen.
And they
and then-
recognise each other.
Yeah, and they would start making out or whatever. I
Yeah,
don't know.
they do the fuck. There's one where he sees another Nazi guy and they just
Yeah.
go, "Oh!" and they just both
Yeah,
do a
yeah,
Hitler
yeah,
salute
yeah.
at the same
Yeah.
time. But yeah, because he used to do like he dressed up as like the Riddler from Batman. As
No,
well.
the Joker, wasn't it?
Joker, but then he also dressed up as the Riddler. And when he
Right.
saw a black person, he'd be like, "Do you want to hear a riddle?"
Yeah.
And it's just a riddle that he wrote, and he's just like, they commit 52% of the crimes, but only make up 13% of the population.
Yeah.
Who are they? And the black kids would be like, sometimes it's kids, like,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, we don't know. And then he just screamed the N word at the.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my
What is this? When
God.
was this made?
So he's a guy. He's called Gypsy Crusader, and he's just like this edgelord dude. I think he
Is
used
he a
to be.
gypsy?
No,
British or
No,
American?
he's American.
British.
Yeah, yeah.
American.
but his origin story is that he used to be like a super left-leaning liberal guy,
And he fell into a vat of.
and he fell into a lot of racism.
Yeah.
But no, he yeah, and he was like he used to be like a super left-leaning liberal dude, and then he was at like some rally and Antifa attacked him. They
Mhm.
thought he was like whatever, and that apparently turned him into a fucking like.
That's such a pussy. It's like you're like, okay, well they were mean to me, so now I hate all black people.
Yeah.
Like, what a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like Antifa hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But he got
Fine, I won't be nice to the other races.
yeah, Antifa's probably all fucking just smelly white.
Yeah,
it is all white people.
Yeah.
Antifa is all white people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that even really a thing anymore? I feel like I haven't heard much.
It's
about
kind of
them
died
for a while.
down a bit. It was big like 3-4 years ago. You'd go
Oh,
into
it's
like
massive.
you'd go to like a left
It
leaning
was like
pub. And,
that would be brought up in the news constantly. Like,
Yeah.
it was just almost like a way to describe just extreme leftists.
It is kind of weird that, like, you know, you got Musk doing salutes. Like, surely Antifa should be on this, like, no one's
Yeah.
business, but
Yeah.
they aren't this time. It's like
Yeah, there has been
they've
a
given up.
peep out of fucking.
well, I think like the protest movement got taken over by the climate change people,
Yeah.
right?
But was there also
Right.
a thing about declaring them a terrorist organization or something?
David Cameron wanted to
Was
declare
that-
him. David Cameron.
Proud Boys did. They got declared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, the Gavin McInnes guy, his book that he released before his association with the Proud Boys or whatever. It's called The Death of Cool because he founded Vice, the media company or whatever. It's one of the best books I've ever read. But it's got nothing about race in it. It's all about him growing up and founding Vice. It's a fucking amazing book. But sometimes you're in a bar and you see like pro Antifa stuff in the bathrooms and you're like, this is going to be a bad gig because you know it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, fucking Bristol was full of that mob as well, wasn't it? Right, a load of Antifa people.
I think there was some
Bristol.
Antifa graffiti
I
in
don't know,
the
maybe.
bathroom.
You know, we
Pub.
had like, you know, when the riots happened, like sort of race riots happened in Bristol. There was a big backlash because it happened one Saturday where like the EDL came down and no one was like prepared for it. And then they were saying, "Oh, it's gonna happen again." You know, when in Brighton there was that image of like free EDL people, and then it was like they were just surrounded by the anti-protests.
Yeah.
We had a similar sort of vibe in Bristol, like the weekend after the Saturday where they sort of fucked Bristol up a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was the same sort of, but I don't think it's very Antifa-y. It's more just like, be cool, don't be a cunt.
It seems like a
Yeah.
very cool. It's definitely one of my favorite cities in the UK.
It's
I think very
fun.
cool.
It's a bit middle classy. Like
Is
it's
it?
it's
Yeah.
less, you know, house prices. Well, we're in London. You fucking know the
Yeah.
score. Like
I mean,
It seems like a small village to us.
yeah, it
It's
is.
just like, oh,
But
this
it's
is
like
quaint
there's a
little-
lot of cool people there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like the crowds there have always been really.
yeah, they were super cool at that gig that we did.
Yeah, you
Good,
boys are
yeah,
fucking class,
yeah.
lads.
Yeah, like we pay $5,000 a month for this room, so it's like that just to give you an idea of, and we have to put up with this. We have this old American housemate, and he's just. I had a fight with him in the kitchen the other night.
Yeah.
What was he saying to you down in the kitchen?
Oh, we were just doing the usual small chat. He's like, "Yeah, man, still recovering, man." I'm like, "When can you go back to work?" Because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so much better when he's working because he's always out and not annoying us.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh man, probably March." I was like, "Fuck."
Mark.
Yeah, he had
Why is he out of
hernia
work?
surgery.
Yeah.
He had like 3 hernias.
Wow, he's old. Like.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah.
in his 60s. I'd
But
say.
he's like kind of like a fit like roadie. He's like, "Hey man, rock and roll," you know. What I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We see him bringing in underage girls, and it's crazy. Like, his
dream,
name's
like.
Chris, yeah, it's insane. His name's Chris Jones.
Yeah.
He's from New York.
He has it. The only person he's brought in is some young guy who hung out with him all night. They were playing, like they were jamming on guitar together.
Oh God.
And I came out, like I went out to have a joint, and like it was so awkward, like because the guy came out, but Chris didn't introduce us, so the guy was kind of just like facing away from me and just talking to Chris, and Chris was talking to both of us. I'm like,
Yeah.
who the fuck is this kid? Like,
Yeah.
why do you have him in your room
How old?
late
is
at night? Like mid-20s maybe?
I'm starting to like Chris now.
Yeah, I
But,
imagine it's someone he works with.
Yeah,
He's like, "Hey man, this rock and roll guy's
it's
cool.
rock and roll, man.
I
But
wanna do
he's.
rock and roll like
I
you,
got into a
man."
fight with him in the kitchen because he's just been shitting on the toilet seat, and we've had this reoccurring beef where he
On the
just
toilet
That's why he
seat?
on the
keeps shitting.
toilet seat. That's
What
what
is he,
Keeps
hovering?
eating
Keeps eating
reoccurring
reoccurring beef. Huh?
How is he shitting on the toilet?
This
We
is
don't
the
know.
big mystery in the house that we're trying to fucking figure out
It's-
how.
Is it like blowback or like?
It's like
An unclean
I
arse.
imagine he's going up in an emergency. He's pulling his pants down. He starts shitting as he's falling because
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It creates like a parabola arc on the.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what I think he does is it's like you know when a dog takes a shit and then they kind of like scoot along the ground to like clean their ass.
Yeah.
And he
It's not
kind of
even a
shits and then he kind of just goes up onto the seat like that and kind of goes, yeah, that's it. And then he just that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went down one day.
Marking
he
his
did that.
territory.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal. And then, yeah, like he did it the other night, and it was just this big streak.
Is he
And,
not even? He's not cleaning it. Like
He's not.
He's
cleaning it.
trying. Like you can see, he's made an attempt, But either he doesn't have good eyesight or he doesn't care. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's a protest against how.
because it has happened on nights where we've like there's been kind of like disagreements and stuff. So
Yeah.
sometimes it does feel
Wow.
like
It's a dirty protest. It's like the
Yeah.
lads in the Maze prison. Like,
Yes.
it's a bit like that. Like
Yeah.
he's taking a fucking page out of those lads'
Yeah.
books. And yeah, he just texts me complaining about whatever the cleanliness of the house, and he just done that with a big skid mark. And I heard him coming in downstairs, and I just went downstairs, and he was in the kitchen, and we just had it out for like 10 minutes.
Really?
And he was like, the house isn't clean. I was like, you haven't got a fucking leg to stand on. You're shitting everywhere. You're 60 years of age. I didn't think I'd have to potty train a man your age when I moved in here.
Really?
Yeah, and then he's like, it's beautiful though, because he's like, yeah, man, no one gives a fuck in this house. And it's like, yeah, that's the vibe of the
Yeah,
house.
that's-
Me, Hamish, and this other guy, we don't give a fuck. So if you don't like it, just fuck off, basically. Go back to where you came from, you yank. And yeah, like we just had it out. It's actually kind of like therapeutic. I feel like we're
Yeah.
probably on
Yeah,
better
so now-
terms now.
Oh, for
That's good for you.
sure,
'cause you normally don't. You
Yeah.
deflect, and
I
now
was-
you're being more like.
I was very proud of myself.
Yeah,
I'm being
yeah.
more like Hamish. Hamish has taught me a lot. You
Yeah.
gotta just fucking have it out with these, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. Then you resolve it. You know.
Yeah. I'm not a very. I hate confrontation. I don't know about you. I hate fucking
Me.
confrontation. I just.
Didn't you see the way I wilted as soon as he said, I never did that joke? I was like, I did. I'm
Yeah.
not accusing you at all. I'm not accusing you at all,
See how
man.
angry and retarded I got. See,
Right,
it's
yeah.
like- that's what I get. I just started yelling.
George is like the opposite. You're
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah, I love rowing with people.
Yeah.
I fantasize about rowing people.
Right,
Yeah.
but you kind of have a bit of a death wish, I think. Like, you're kind of like. I feel like you're like, I want to be hit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you want to be.
Yeah.
Just like a sort of a punishment, sort of to
A
punish.
bit,
yourself.
yeah. I want to get in a fight with people. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do want to get into it. I'd love a fucking just to throw down with someone like proper gypsy style in the field.
I've never had a real
Just-
fight.
Yeah, I think we. Yeah, I think
You've
we
never
did
had a real
before,
fight?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
mad because you get. I think it's because you give off such a manly alpha male
Yeah.
look. It's like,
Right.
yeah,
But
I'm
also,
not gonna
like-
fuck with him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna fish
It could
up
be.
me.
Exactly,
like, you know,
yeah.
I'm gonna lose an ear if I start grappling with that gun.
Mm.
But
So
I
you
was
don't have to.
like I was bullied brutally in high school.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What for?
Shit.
Just for being a fucking dick. Fucking.
Did you
dog.
look like this in high school? You also give me that vibe. Like you look like a grown up.
No. Baby face,
Really?
long blonde hair.
Yeah, he had long
Wow.
hair.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta see those.
Real
photos.
rock and roll.
Real
Real
rock and roll. Was it like the Peter Jones?
But like-
fucking.
No. I had like a full head of hair.
Really?
Yeah. And like, so sometimes they would bully me, but if it ever got physical, like I was so quickly like one guy, I think he like came up behind me and like,
Oh.
what do you do? He like got his like dirty football boots
Oh, yeah.
and like smacked them together around my
Oh.
head. Yeah. And I like
Around your
grabbed-
head?
Yeah.
Cunt.
And then like I just grabbed him and kind of just like smushed him into the ground.
No,
And
yeah.
he was just like, he was just like this, and he was,
Yeah.
and then everyone else was kind of like watching him like, dude, Hamish just kind of humiliated you. Like, and he was just like, no.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
He probably didn't fuck with you again, did he?
No, never. Yeah.
That's. I wish back in school. I wish I'd done more. Like if someone just fucking like said something, if you just spaz out on them,
Yeah.
they'll probably just
Yeah.
leave you alone.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
most of the time
yeah.
they're just picking you because they know you're not gonna fucking say shit. I remember one time, this guy.
It'd be so
threw-
funny if you did go back in time to do it and did all this stuff, but it just got bullied worse.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
end up in a wheelchair because they beat you up so
Right,
bad.
yeah.
Hey, leave me alone!
Leave me alone. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, you want it? You fucking little faggot." But yeah, because like I'm such a pussy. Like I look back, like there was one time my some guy threw an orange at my younger brother because I was when I was like in school I was in 6th year and then he was in 1st year. And then someone was just like, yeah, some guy like threw an orange at your younger brother and he started crying and your
Yeah.
younger brother had to go home. And then I
He went home because someone threw an. He's a
I
fucking
think,
pussy.
No, it was a big orange.
Oh right.
It was a big. It was one of
Like
them
a grapefruit,
fucking-
weren't it? It was more of a
It was a
grapefruit,
grapefruit,
really.
Yeah, it was one of those big, thick, fucking
Right.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And they hit him. He might have got a bloody nose from. I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah, we're weak. The Moriarty's. He got hit by a fucking orange, and then he went home. And then someone was like, "Oh yeah, XYZ threw an orange at your brother's face." And he started crying, and then
Defend his
I just didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, that sucks for my brother. And then I just saw
Yeah.
the guy, and then like a few years later, like 4 years later, when I was in my 20s, that guy became my personal trainer, and for like a few months.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't bring it up. I should have been
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, you fucking.
Yeah.
you
He
know
was
what I
throwing
mean?
satsums at you again. Like you've got to fucking eat that.
Yeah, well, it's like those movies. You know, there's that movie with I don't know who's in it, where they get molested by a priest, and then they all go back to the school, and they get revenge on the priest
Oh.
like 20 years
That
later.
sounds great. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, But I
The Sleepers.
The Sleepers, I think it was. Yeah. And
Not the priest. They get molested by the police officer because there's a bunch of fucking kids in New York City and they steal like a hot dog van or something, or one of the ones that you can push, hot dog cart. Yeah. And then they accidentally throw it down like a subway and it kills a bunch of people.
Really?
So they get sent off to like a boarding school, you know, prison for kids, like youth offenders. Yeah. It turns out all the fucking officers in charge are just raping the fuck out of them.
Is that Sleepers?
I think it's called The Sleepers. Yeah.
Right.
Because Brad Pitt's in it, right?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of young famous actors before they became big.
Oh wow, I gotta watch this.
Sounds amazing.
Is it good or is it like?
The most interesting part happens at the part I just told you, and then like
the
4 of them, like one of them becomes a priest, I think. One of them doesn't become a priest. 2 of them, they all become gangsters.
It's like Spider-Man.
And 2 of them find the fucking guy who raped them, kills them, and then the priest, I think, like goes, actually, I'm gonna go against the cloth, or I'm gonna lie to get you out of trouble.
Wow.
Because
they needed a cloth after the molesting. Yeah. But, the Sleepers. I
think that's the film.
I think it is.
It'd be weird if it wasn't.
There's a movie about Bill Cosby called The Sleepers as well, but that's a completely different movie. But what did I watch last night? I watched this movie called Doubt.
I've seen that.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
It's nothing to do with Mrs. Doubtfire, by the way. It's totally.
Yeah, imagine it's like a serious like remake of Mrs. Doubtfire. It's all like dark and like.
Well, I did see some people were like, you couldn't make Mrs. Doubtfire nowadays with the trans.
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire.
You have to make it nowadays. What do you mean?
Yeah, but now if they made it nowadays, they'd be like, yeah, you have to put a trans woman in the. And it's like, no, because it's a man dressed as.
No, they would just make the story that they're just trans.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how convenient. I can.
So like in the Doubtfire, like where they're doing all the makeup.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a cutscene of doing. Instead of that, it's just him getting the surgery. You know?
And it's very graphic.
It's just him getting his penis sliced open and pulled apart.
Yeah.
It just goes on for 20 minutes.
Just fucking them. Just.
It's like Face Off. Where
But he's still got the
cock off.
He's still got the fun music.
Yeah.
Him and his wife are like side by side, and they're swapping the vaginas.
That's it. But what was I gonna say there about? It's kind of like. Have you seen this Emilia Perez movie?
No, but everyone said it's terrible.
It's basically like Mrs. Doubtfire. It's like a Mexican Mrs. Well, it's like.
I should have called it that.
The Mexican Mrs. Doubtfire, yeah. But because I talked about it with the episode that came out today, but just very quickly, it's like the plot of it is like a cartel boss is a closeted trans woman, and he's killed loads of innocent people or wherever. He has a wife and 2 kids, and then he just goes and he gets a lawyer, and he's like, I want you to fucking go get me the best trans surgeon on the planet. She goes off anyway. He becomes a woman. She becomes a woman.
Right.
Goes back, and then she leaves her wife and kids behind. Fucks off for 4 years, and then she's like, "Oh, I miss my wife and kids."
Yeah.
Goes back to Mexico and is like, I want to like, just basically because he faked his own death. Right. He's like, "Oh, I got killed by a cartel boss," and then he basically says he goes to his ex-wife and his 2 kids. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm your dad's and your husband's cousin. Come live with me." So they live in this big fucking mansion, and it's like Mrs. Doubtfire, except it's
trannies,
except it's transgender people. Yeah, so it's one of the worst movies.
Yeah, 'cause Selena Gomez is in it.
Yeah,
right?
Selena Gomez.
Does she play the tranny?
No, she doesn't. No.
Right.
She plays.
We didn't say tranny,
the
George.
wife of the. She plays the wife of the transgender woman, the member of the transgender community, and it's fucking atrocious. It's offensive to Mexican people. Hate it.
Yeah.
Because
didn't it win an Oscar? Was it nominated for an Oscar?
It's nominated for like 50 fucking Oscars.
Of course.
I tell you what, they didn't get an Oscar nomination for best makeup, if you know what I'm saying. Not convincing. But
is the transgender person who's the woman? Is that an actual transgender person?
It's an actual first transgender person to be nominated for an Oscar.
Wow.
So she's gonna fucking get it.
That's so cynical. They wrote that movie, the studio, to put a transgender person in it, so then they can say it's the first transgender person fucking nominated for an Oscar, and then if they win, it's like, oh yeah, we got the first fucking
yeah.
Do you reckon it's the Oscar statue? Do you reckon it's going to be like the woman, but it's going to have a little penis as well?
Wait.
No, it's gonna be the Oscar statue in a dress. I'd say.
I thought it was a man. It's a woman. The Oscar dress.
No,
the
it's,
Oscar
it's
statue.
a band. It's a golden.
Yeah.
That's what his name's Oscar, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a man.
Makes
Oh, okay.
sense.
I always thought it was a woman in a dress.
No,
Maybe I've only ever got a transgender one then.
Yeah, maybe.
You won an Oscar?
I want an
Yeah,
Oscar,
you won
yeah.
That's fucking.
Yeah.
But the what was I gonna say there about the? Yeah, but at the start of the movie when she's a man, it's played by the trans female actor.
Right.
But she
Oh,
like
wow.
transitions back for the role.
She stopped taking the meds.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what happens. She's
Yeah.
like does
They just
something
put,
and
they
then
put on a
it's,
fake mustache.
This
She's a
sounds
dude
like a
again.
riddle. I'll be honest. I don't
Yeah.
know what the fuck's
Dude,
going on.
You have
with
to
this.
watch it. It's like laughably bad.
Yeah.
And it's not not a comedy at all. It's like, yeah, it's fucking, it's terrible. So yeah, she'll probably fucking win it. And then, but then there was Elliot Page, who's now was Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Juno.
Another Elliot Page. Juno.
Juno.
Yes, Juno.
Juno.
Oh, Juno.
Free Palestine.
Juno. No more of that. Cut it out. But yeah, have you ever seen Ellen Page? She's in a movie called He's in a Movie. He now?
He.
Used to be she? He now.
You know.
Hey now.
When he was a she was in a movie called Hard Candy. Have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I watched that with my parents.
Nice.
Yeah, when we used to have to like rent DVDs and stuff, so we'd go
Yeah.
to the Blockbuster.
Yeah, Hard Candy.
Oh.
Oh, candy. You know,
Yeah.
you think it's like a, you think it's like a something to do like a chocolate factory or something like. It couldn't be more, you know. It couldn't be less like a fucking.
I remember
movie
seeing
about a
the
chocolate
trailer
factory.
for that film as a kid. Isn't there like a dentist chair involved?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she basically she's kind of like an OG of the kind of the pedo catcher sort of game,
Right.
where I think she goes on Craigslist and she finds a pedo.
It's a remake of like that film Audition, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I think like where it's like
I
some
should have said in film school. I didn't like it.
yeah
What was that? It's a similar
really-
plot.
similar
Is it
vibe.
South Korean?
South Korean, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but the yeah, Hard Candy is like, so yeah, she meets up with this pedo and she's like 16 or whatever, and then goes to his house or whatever, and then she sedates him. Does she? I can't remember. Yeah, and then like kind of ties him to like a chair or whatever, and then she she puts like she has like a live feed of like his dick and balls.
She
And-
does a root canal on his cock
Yeah,
and
she
balls.
basically cuts his cock and balls off, and then.
Do you see it? Like
Well, what happened? Do you want me to ruin the movie?
yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah. So she basically puts ice on his balls.
That's nice.
There's a very similar scene in Amelia Perez actually, but the puts the ice.
Puts the balls on ice.
Yeah, balls on ice, and whatever. And then the guy.
That's what they do when they do the ice skating remake.
What?
Balls on
Balls on
ice.
ice.
Yeah.
What's the ice skating remake?
Oh, like you know how they do like Disney on Ice and shit.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like Frozen a little bit.
Yeah.
But the, so then he can see the camera, but he can't feel anything because she's not whatever. And then at the end, she bails or whatever. And then at the end of the movie, then he's like manages to free himself, and then he sees that she actually hasn't cut his cock and balls off. She just put loads of ice on his cock and balls, so it went numb. And then the live feed was just like a different cock and balls. But I don't know how she
Wow.
got a video with an
Yeah.
identical cock and balls. I don't know what she did. So it's kind of like to teach him a lesson.
AI.
Yeah, it could have been AI. Yeah, it could have been AI.
you make a video of this man's dick and
Dick and
balls,
balls,
being cut.
please. Yeah. God, what's this new? Anyway, I'll get to that.
You would
yeah.
notice, right? If
Yeah,
someone
you're
was
like,
chopping your cock and balls off, you'd be like, that's not my cock
That's
and
not.
balls.
That cock's black.
Yeah.
Black cock down. But the black cock down my throat, please. But surely they've made a porn version of Black
Yeah,
Cock
of
Down
course.
called Black
Yeah.
Cock Down.
Yeah.
Surely. But anyway, if not, we'll do that. But so she puts the ice on his whatever, and he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, she didn't actually cut my cock and balls off. It's actually just to teach me a lesson."
Yeah.
But then while he's passed out, she finds loads of fucking kiddie porn in his house, and I think calls the police.
Yeah.
And then he's left with no choice. But she says, "I found all this child porn in your house.
I like to play
So,
a game.
Basically, yeah, she says you should kill yourself or else I'm gonna call the police, something like that.
Mhm.
Then he ends up hanging. The last scene is he hangs himself from the chimney in his fucking.
Wow.
From the
This
roof
sounds like
or
a
something.
terrible film.
Yeah.
No,
It
it's
is
pretty good.
pretty-
It's
it's-
pretty good. I mean, I've butchered the poor choice of words, but I've butchered the plot of the movie. But I saw this thing with this Chinese AI.
Yeah.
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek. It sounds like Meeseek from Rick and Morty.
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
Oh no, I didn't watch
Oh.
Rick and Morty. You know,
First two
his
seasons
voice
are
just drove me into the guy going Morty every 5 seconds. I just couldn't.
You're good
Oh,
at that.
really?
You're
Huh?
pretty, good. You're pretty good at that.
Yeah, I mean, I
You do
just
it.
fucking didn't the 2 guys from that get done for like fucking
One
good.
of
One of them.
The voice guy.
yeah the guy Justin something
That's it.
he got done for like actually fucking.
I think
raped or
I think
something.
he actually he it's come out that it wasn't true or something. I think he's been.
But then the Harmon guy, he basically just outed himself. No one was saying anything.
Yeah.
And then he came out and he was like, "Yeah, I was really weird to an intern that I wanted to fuck."
Yeah, yeah.
And I hit on her a bunch of times, but like he wasn't getting outed.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah,
decided
but that,
to
happened,
like.
that happened way before because he did like a talk to camera thing. Like he was giving an interview and he
Right.
was talking about it. And he was like, "Yeah, I was a bit creepy,"
Yeah.
but he wasn't.
He was a nasty drunk.
Yeah.
Supposedly that because he'd been like writing. He was writing on Sarah Silverman's show
He's
Right.
writing a
Years
lot of
ago.
stuff. Yeah.
and Community. He
Yeah.
wrote Community,
And,
and then he had like a documentary made about himself, and he's just like this fucking alcoholic writer who was a bit of a cunt to a lot of people,
Yeah.
including his wife. Like I think he used to phone her and just be like, "I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Oh wow.
You
Right.
can't leave me." Like he was that sort of manipulative shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know a few lads who've been hit with that from women. Like,
Oh wow.
if you leave me, I'll fucking kill myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
which
the
is-
meanest thing you can do to someone.
Yeah.
What, tell someone that you'll kill yourself?
Yeah.
You should
I
do that
think
with, like,
I think
just-
drugging someone and cutting their cock and balls
Yeah,
off
that's
is the
pretty bad.
meanest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean-
that's pretty bad.
There's
But-
a fucking hilarious video where a guy goes up to this really pretty woman in a supermarket
yeah.
and he goes, "Hey, you're really beautiful." And she goes, "Oh, thank you." He goes, if you don't kind of date with me, I'll kill myself."
Oh.
You can see her face, just fucking. It's hilarious. You should watch it.
I'd say so. I mean, yeah. I mean, are you the guy in the video?
No.
No. Right, because
He's trying to get more views. He's trying to plug his
Yeah,
video.
At the George Wheeler, please.
I've seen I've seen videos of guys like just pervert where they go up behind women in supermarkets and they just jerk off on their.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like
Really?
it was on the
There was
news. He kind of went
It's
up
on the
behind.
news?
Yeah.
He went. It's like on YouTube. Yeah,
Oh,
some
there
guy
was.
went-
Yeah, there was a guy who got arrested.
He
for
kind
that.
of went up behind a woman in the supermarket and was just like
Yeah, and she's like,
came on her dress.
Wow.
yeah, and she's like,
Fucking
he
man, isn't
nutted on me. Yeah,
Yeah,
He
yeah.
got him. They found him though.
Did they? Yeah, they got
Yeah.
him.
They also got a guy, you know, who went outside and did videos on like girls in Manchester. Did this ever come up on your algorithms? It was just
No.
like a
No.
guy just going out in different cities around the UK, mainly in Manchester, just filming girls
It was like an advertisement
on
so
their
like-
way out.
It was meant to be like an advertisement for like immigrants. Like we've got all these women, so come to Manchester.
Oh,
Yeah.
they were like recruiting for ISIS or
Was
something.
it?
No, that's why it was.
God, this sounds like a bit.
No, I swear to
You
God.
serious?
Really, yeah?
I've been talking about the same guy. He was filming women, and then he was going on TikTok, and it was like, "Come to Manchester. We've got all these beautiful women." He was working
Right.
for the people smugglers.
Oh wow.
I thought he was just
He's working for
like,
Manchester fucking
Manchester
council.
United.
Yeah.
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 I thought it was just for fucking horny dudes who just
was-
like,
it's for
don't
hor-
want to go out,
it's
but
for
it's like, this is what they
No,
look
it's,
like.
it's for horny
Yeah.
dudes who are coming over here.
But also human trafficking.
It's the people. It's that to promote like get good dudes to come over.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
You don't want to pay 10 grand to, be in a dinghy?
Is it
Yeah.
10
Look
grand?
at this. Look at this girl. She's in a Primark miniskirt.
Is it 10 grand to fucking come here?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the people that come here by people smugglers are usually the rich. Well, not rich, but they're well off.
Mm.
They're the yeah, they're
Refugees. The poor ones don't get to get out of the country.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
yeah.
That people think that it's a bunch of poor people coming, but it's people who are actually.
Got a bit of money. Yeah.
But yeah, the rich people there though would be
Yeah.
poor people here.
That's why they got
Probably.
smartphones when they get here. Everyone's got.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's just get fucking GB News now and just fucking these
Yeah.
guys. But you're like, so you're from Wales, right? So then,
Aye.
is that where the immigrants come in, or is that
Nah, because we're
where's-
facing your neck of the woods, isn't it?
right? But then where's they come in from? Is it Dover?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's Dover then?
Just the south. That's the south of England, facing
Right.
France.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're coming from France. Where's?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. They're
Yeah.
gonna come
Yeah.
through Europe and.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
They
they're kinda
walk
doing
through
a bit of
Europe.
a fucking tour, like they're kind of doing.
Yeah, they walk through like Turkey and then Greece and then fucking like Romania and then they skip Poland and they go to Germany.
Right,
and then
yeah,
they
I mean,
get
that's a
to-
wise move.
Yeah,
Because Poland's very... I was in Poland 2 years ago doing a gig, and and there's just like 4 comedians, and one of them was black. He was a black friend of mine, and he was the only black guy, and we're walking down the street, and you had just people staring at him like...
yeah, Poland's really racist.
And then a dog saw him and lost its mind.
really,
Yeah. And Polish
Wow.
people were laughing because they were like, it's the dog's
Yeah,
race.
yeah.
The dog saw the black guy, was like, God, you know, fucking just lost its fucking
Yeah,
mind, like. And then I gave it a little treat, you know. And but the immigrants, immigrants coming through Europe, it's like they're doing like a pub crawl, like they're kind of
yeah.
coming up the
Yeah,
thing and whatever. And all right, guys, that was George Wheeler and Paul Hilleard. I'll put their Instagrams in the show notes. And also in the show notes will be a link to the Patreon. Go and sign up. You know you want it. It's €3.50 a month for 2 extra episodes a week. Sorry. Anyway, this is the 3rd take of this. I'm not redoing it. Thanks as always for listening. I love you very much. I'll see you next week. All right. Bye.